Thank you, Mr. Orrish, for the intro, for the quotes, Mr. Ogden, Ms. Trushka, for the opportunity to speak, Mom, Dad, and Kennedy for being there for me, through the good times and the bad. I love you guys with all my heart. Girls wearing black dresses, and black, for all the good times that we had, and for making me laugh on a daily basis. And everyone who decided to dress up all schmexy and put their shades and whatnot, for being brothers to me. You guys are the best, and I will never forget the friendships that we had. Who am I? Well, I am Tyler Madrid. I'm a senior here at WED, and I love to wrestle. Pretty amazing title, huh? Tyler, the wrestler who goes to WED. In reality, though, this is not who I am. These are things that describe what I do. I go to WED, and I wrestle. Big whoop. There's an old saying, never judge a book by its cover. Well, that is part of what I want to convey to you here. I believe that we go on with our day-to-day lives, constantly judging the people around us based on the first impressions that we have of them. Whoa, that guy's buff. Don't mess with him. Hey, that guy has a whole bunch of girls around him. He must be a player. Dang, he's Mexican. He speaks fluent Spanish. Yes, I've fallen victim to all these outward judgments at one point or another. The funny thing is that I am Mexican. I may have big arms, and girls usually surround me from time to time. But no, this does not mean that I'm only described by those words of others. We question our motives and deny those who try to lead us away from what we've been accustomed to. There's an actual story within this book that very few have taken the time to read. And sometimes we are afraid to read because we're insecure with who we actually are. I was not always as outgoing as I am today. There was a time where I actually cared about what I wore, what I said, and how I acted. I was not always this guy that used to be before you today, nor did I always have a dismembered knee that kept me out of 5 wrestling seasons. I used to be that shy, that little plump, lonely kid that you as a kid would look to your friends. Hey, who's that kid? I've never seen him before. As a child going through public school, I quickly learned that if I hid who I was, nothing bad would happen. No criticism would be bestowed upon me, and no one would learn to hate me. When I actually started to show who I was quickly shot down by the ridicule of my peers. With a constant put down, I started to shrink away from those people and hide out in my own little world. I only had one rule though. Just be nice to everyone, no matter what. Just be who I thought I should be, and to keep an open mind about the other people. So, to the best of my ability, I would try to be generous to all those who needed a obtain in their friendship in their day. The reason for this is because I thought that was what I was supposed to do, who I was supposed to be, and who I was supposed to become. I slowly started to mutate into this gigantic, violent, adorable teddy bear, so to speak, where I would show my soft side, and no Charlotte, my stomach is my own soft side. But I would also reveal the stronger side of me, underneath the fluff when I need to be strong. When I was around friends, I wanted them to know that I actually did care about them, and that I was actually going to be there for them no matter what. When I was batted down for being who I was proud to be, I would build a strong wall around myself, where I hid my true emotions away from the surface. For the longest time, I put on this type of mask to hide who I really was, because behind this mask, I would be liberated from the world. I could let loose and do whatever would make me happy. I would be open and free to do who I was comfortable with, basically. I wouldn't have to worry about pleasing other people. Even though I was showing my true colors, I wouldn't let anyone get to know this person, the person I started to become, the person I started to secretly shape into because of that lack of acceptance from other people. To this day, I have regrets about the decisions I made as a younger child, about hiding my true identity from the world. But what else was I supposed to do? I mean, how could I tell someone in full depth the mysteries hidden within my mind? How could I share exactly what I was thinking about right at that instant? Do you think others would try to understand you, or do you think they would just completely deny you? The people who are exposed to our general way of thinking, understandably, interpret your thinking differently. Others may tell you that you are insane for thinking the way you do, for doing the things you have to do at that moment, and to change it as quickly as possible to make themselves more comfortable. But if you followed your own way, then everything in the world would be perfect, because you would be living the way you would want to live. If it wasn't perfect to everyone, then at least it would be perfect to you. This idea of being true to myself and who I was is what I put all my faith into, what I was willing to defend with all my strength. Even though I was afraid of being judged, I was determined to stay true to the person behind the mask. And a huge part of who we are lies within our past. Our past has shaped us into the people that we are today, because of the experiences that we had, the lessons that we learned. But not only that, we are also shaped by the friends we made and the people we grew up with. As I started to grow and mature into a young adult, and go through junior high school and now high school, I was exposed to a variety of influences, such as John Dominguez's intense math concentration, Fuji's introduction of his mental capacity, his attention span, how much time he actually does have on his hands, Eric Key's talented and creative artwork style and his awareness of the opportune moments, and Harrison Holmes' attitude towards life, music, breakdancing, and fighting. There are a lot of other people who have walked through my life, and they started to open my eyes to a greater world, a world other than the one I had hidden away. As the earth spins and the seasons change, bringing with it the shift in the natural balance, and naturally everything changes. Everything and everyone change. Whether we like it or not, it happens. How much it affects us, and how much it affects who we are, is ultimately up to us. Every day we are bombarded with influences that threaten to shape us in unknown ways. Sometimes the change is good, sometimes it isn't. Our identity alters as we allow it to alter. It may change the way we look, how we think, how we interpret other things, how our faces appear, what we wear, who we talk to, how we talk, when we talk, so on and so forth. There are many things that we can change, and there are also many aspects of our lives that can be improved. But one thing that we cannot and should not stand for is that change that risks the very foundation of who we are, what we are, and what we stand for. No one can tell us to change our way of life, nor should we tell other people to change theirs. We are our own person. Ounce for ounce, we are all unique in our own ways. Even though from time to time we all put on those masks to hide our true identity from the world, we have the ability to tear them off at our own leisure. When it comes down to it, we are who we are. No more, no less. Life isn't about getting the best grades, or getting hardest classes, getting into the best colleges, or receiving the top-notch careers. Life is about finding the person that you are destined to become. It's about discovering who you really are and exposing the person that you aren't ashamed to show off to the world. In my opinion, the true identity of anyone is crucial to his or her existence, because without knowing or striving to find out who you are, then who exactly are you? What is it that defines you? What is it that makes you stand out in this place we call society? In the Declaration of Independence that was signed by the forefathers of America, that helped establish a strong nation, as the graduate can testify to. All men are created equal. We are not identical with everyone else. West's motto is way beyond standard. And I believe that every day we are actually the ones who break through that standard. The standard set by society, that binds us to how we are expected to live. The standard set by others every day that are imposed on us. And the standards we set for ourselves. Even though we break through these standards, it is dire that we are still satisfied with the person we will and have become. I mean, why not? You only have to live with yourself for, what, ever? It doesn't matter how much you've changed or what you do differently or how strange you think you are. Are you content with the person you look at in the mirror? At birth, our minds are like Play-Doh. Yes, Play-Doh. We easily shape our minds into whatever we want it to be. But as time moves on, and it gets harder and harder to shape and mold, then soon it's hard to sculpt it at all without breaking the mold. We are transformed to a certain point where we are truly comfortable with who we are and what we do. We start to finally become the identity that we work so hard to create. We can change as much as we want, but there is a certain point where we cannot change who we are without losing that element that makes us different from everyone else. Although the world changes and people along with it, it is important to stay true to yourself. It is important to hold on to the person that you have become, and to treasure your ideals, your likes, your dislikes, your ethics, views, and opinions. Ultimately, you should be happy with the person you are starting to shape, the person who you are starting to become. In reality, it all comes down to what makes you happy and what drives you to obtain the things that you want to strive for. There's no one that can forcefully change who you are. There's no one that can make you into someone that you are not. And there's no one that can tell you what will make you happy. I want to leave you with this. Enjoy the time you have here with us. Take the time to go on outdoor excursions, late night movies, art cafes, run races, do whatever. Take the time to discover yourself. Life is too short not to live to the fullest. Never have any regrets, because you can't go back and change anything. Never give yourself a reason to want to go back and change anything at all. Trash the mask, and bring down the deflector shields. Let the good vibes hit you on full blast. Enjoy every second of every day, because you never know when it will be our last. We all belong somewhere. We just have to go out and find it. Thank you. Thank you.